Hello and welcome to Kings of the Premier League. We've had a bit of a break, but I am delighted to say we are back again for a second season. With the help of Sky Sports Power Ranking Statistics and your Budweiser King of the Match fan votes, we'll be selecting our Premier League Team of the Month. So as always, we have the statistics from the Sky Sports Power Rankings on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side is the fan votes. As you can see, one man is at the top of both. Emiliano Martinez, Carl Darlow, narrowly behind with the power rankings, had a great game against Spurs recently as well. Nicole, come to you first. You've both got to agree on your goalkeeper. Former Arsenal man dominating both lists. Are you a bit surprised and upset that you sold this man?
I am. Do you know what? I feel like a proud mum. Like in that first game when he saved that penalty, I was like, yes, Emmy, but also not good because we're going to be coming up against you. Fair play to him. He wanted to be number one. And with Leno coming back in, it didn't look like that was going to happen, even though he's been playing so well, Martinez. But look, he's gone to Villa and he's been playing so well. He saved that penalty and 2 clean sheets from 2 games. Yeah. That is brilliant. I think he's looking really good. He's good with his feet as well. I think for me, he's definitely been the standout keeper so far.
I always worry about standing goalkeepers or backup goalkeepers because, you know, what have they got about them? Who's happy to sit on the bench? And with the goalkeeper, you normally know who's the number 1, who's the number 2. I thought it was going to be interesting when Leno came back and how Arteta went about it, really. I'm not sure, you know, you watch Arsenal more than me, but I thought he did that well, that there was no drop-off in terms of performance, for, you know, with the goalkeeper. But if you can get 20 million, I think it was, wasn't it, for your second choice goalkeeper. Yeah. And Arsenal obviously need all the money they can get, can't they, to improve the rest of the squad.
Oh, the dig already coming.
Even on the players they're agreeing on, there's a bit of debate here. This is great. This is what we want from the show. But they have agreed on the first player. So Emiliano Martinez is our keeper for the Team of the Month for September. Right, let's move on to the centre-backs position. Now, this is quite tricky to do, isn't it? Because there's a lot of players that have impressed. So once again, we look at the statistics on the left-hand side based on Sky Sports Power Rankings and what you think on the right-hand side, the fans' votes. So there we go, Tyrone Mings and Ezri Konsa, both Villa players, of course, appearing on both. A couple of Everton players there. Jamie, firstly, who's your first centre-back that you think's nailed on for this position?
I've gone for Konsa. And the reason I've gone for him is obviously 2 clean sheets with Aston Villa. And then it could be a toss-up between him and Tyrone Mings. But I actually go back to last season. I know this vote's not done on that, but Villa came back at the end of last season and stayed up because of the defensive record. And Tyrone Mings was there throughout the season. I think Konsa come in towards the sort of end of the season. I just think since he's been cemented in that Villa team, they've looked a lot more solid, really. So, the great start of the season, 2 clean sheets. So that's why I've just gone for Konsa over Mings.
I had Gabriel, and then he didn't play against Liverpool, which, you know, as an Arsenal fan...
Is the whole team just going to be Arsenal? So ex-Arsenal?
Potentially. Yeah, potentially.
No, I'm hanging on as much as I can. No, the rest aren't Arsenal players, you'll be relieved to know. No, but you've got to admit, he's done so well, especially coming in to... Everyone goes on about players coming into the Premier League and will they be able to be that good straight away? Will they be able to impress everyone? And he has. He scored on his debut. He had a brilliant first game against Fulham. I think he had the most clearances and the most tackles out of any Arsenal player. Are you going to try and
I think you should go for Mings. I think Aston Villa have started well. The reason I wouldn't go for Gabriel is the fact that why didn't Mikel Arteta not play against Liverpool?
Well, he played David Luiz instead. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not something to shout about.
Exactly, Jamie.
I got left out with David Luiz.
All right, so...
Second centre-back, who you go with?
I'm going for Michael Keane.
I am.
Yeah, I think...
Total agreement, there we go.
Oh, that's nice. So we can agree.
So Michael Keane and Tyrone Mings secure the centre-back positions eventually. We got there. Let's move on to the full-back positions, because again, this isn't going to be easy. A lot of full-backs that have impressed so far. Once again, we've got the Sky Sports Power Rankings on the left-hand side. And we've got the percentage of the fans' votes on the right-hand side, and one name at the top of both, Reece James. We've also got Timothy Castagne, who appears in both as well. Luca Dean, top player, as we all know. James Justin there, so this is going to be tricky. Should we go with ones that you might have agreed on? Should we start with the right-back position?
Have we Nicole, agreed? So I'm going for Reece James, right-back. He's only 20 years old. We know that the youngsters are doing so well at Chelsea under Frank Lampard. And I just think... He creates a lot of chances. I think he's got 1 goal and 1 assist so far. That game against West Brom was not a good game by any means, but I think he did quite well. He did make a few errors defensively, and he did get caught out a few times.
That is his job, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. Do you know what? I need to... This is like... I'm having these debates with myself on each player, and really, I need to just go in. But he does create a lot of chances, and in that game, he was very good.
Has Nicole persuaded you, with all of that information, Jamie, to put Reece James in the team at right back?
No, Chelsea have been too poor defensively, been all over the place. He's part of that back four, that is his job. I understand about fullbacks getting forward. So I've gone for the guy at Leicester. They've got clean sheets as well, which is the job.
OK, Tariq Lamptey as well, another player that has impressed,
well,
right back?
Yeah, I mean, I picked two right backs, to be honest. Can I put which one I'm going to put on the left?
Lamptey's
I thought you were going for
Lamptey.
Lamptey. But also, are you buying into the media hype as well with Lamptey? Obviously, he's looking very, very good. He's had a brilliant start.
The Brighton players get in the media?
But there's been so much talk about him in the past.
Because he's been amazing.
He has, but I do feel like it's quite easy to also buy into that.
So these stats for Reece James going forward obviously means that Chelsea should be scoring goals and winning games.
Do you really want Lamptey?
I give you Tyrone Mings.
All right.
Okay,
we can have Lamptey. He's a very good player.
So Tariq Lamptey makes it into right back. So many great right backs. There we go. And it's a problem that England have as well. So many great right backs that England are blessed with, of course. Right back, some that we haven't even mentioned. But Tariq Lamptey is in the right back position. Jamie, shall we start the debate for left back?
Yes. I don't think I'm going to win this one because I haven't actually picked the left back. I've picked two
there we
right
go.
backs. But I do think the lad at Leicester, what's his name again?
Castagnier.
Yes. Doesn't roll off the Scouse dialect too well, like Castagnier.
I thought you had him as right back a minute ago. Now you
I know, but I picked two, so one of them had to go left back.
Him.
Yeah.
So, who's your left back?
I'm going for Lucas Dean.
Okay.
I mean, he's so consistent. You know what you're getting with him. I think he's an all-round solid defender, great at left back. I think he's made a massive difference to the team. For me, he's the obvious choice.
Let's move it on to the midfield areas and have a look at the players that are dominating both sides. So once again, we've got the power rankings on the left and we've got the fans' votes on the right. So James Rodriguez with 8,100 points dominates from the stats point of view, and Kevin De Bruyne from fans' point of views. Jamie, is there a first name nailed on midfielder for you so far?
I think so far, it'd be James or James Rodriguez, whatever you want to call him. I think he's been a revelation since he's come in with Everton. I know he's played for some big clubs, but he's never really totally fitted at those big clubs or being what you'd call a regular. It's almost like he's got a relationship with Carlo Ancelotti more than anything. And I think that relationship is one of the reasons why Ancelotti's at Everton, that he can attract this, calibre of a player, and he's made a brilliant start.
I actually totally agree.
There you go.
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant. I do think a key part of that is Ancelotti, his relationship, obviously knows him very well. And like Jamie said, for him to come into the Premier League, and there was a lot of talk about the whole, if he's that good, why would he sign for Everton, which is a bit disrespectful in itself. But I do think... There we go.
Yeah, you quoted Jamie.
But, he's proven himself to be great. I do think he's a leader. I think he's made them all look a lot more confident as a team. I think he's brilliant.
So you're agreeing on the first player. Another player for you, Nicole, that is a certainty for this midfield?
For me, it's got to be KDB, De Bruyne. I mean, I feel like I can't have a midfield and not have him in there.
He's the best player, I think,
brilliant.
in the Premier League. I think he is. I think he's the standout one. I think with him now in that position, he's almost like still a big hope for City, really, in terms of getting back into the title race or really challenging Liverpool and getting the title back from next season. If he plays the top of his game, they've got a great chance.
Okay, so they're in agreement. Two players, James Rodriguez and KDB. Next position, there's one more position. We are playing a 4-3-3 in this team. Jamie, who would you like to see in that third midfield position?
I would like to see someone from Leeds United, and his name's Klitsch.
Okay, go on. Why do you pick Klitsch in the team?
Well, I think they've been a revelation to start with in the Premier League. I think the games they've been involved in are so exciting. I think he's been a big part of that. There's other players before the season started who are getting spoken about a lot more, really. But as you said, the goals he's got, the assists, the energy he shows from midfield to get into the box, and that high energy is what Leeds are about, basically. And I just think the start they've made, Bielsa ball, whatever you want to call it, we've got to have someone from Leeds in there.
I've gone for Mason Mount.
Okay.
Another Chelsea youngster, but I do think he can get quite a lot of criticism, and sometimes it is quite harsh and unfair. But look, he's got a very good relationship with Frank. We know that they've got a good connection. And I think if you look at the game, particularly against West Brom, when he scored that goal, he turned the game around and he did play very well in that game. And I do think generally I like what I see from him. I think he's a very good player. So
you can't put someone in this team on the back of playing well against West Brom. Come on.
Oh, Jamie!
You can't, can you? Come on.
Okay, let's have a look at the.
Changed the game.
Apologies to any West Brom fans. Let's have a look at some of the stats
players.
That might help you out here with regards to Klich versus Mount. So
help
here we
me
go.
out.
With regards to goals, Klich edged it. With regards to assists, Klich edges it. Passes completed. Again, edges it. Interceptions and possession. Well, in fact, Klich edges it in all of the categories. So, Nicole, I'm sorry to give you this statistic.
Yeah.
But Mount is behind, a top player we know, of course, but behind in every single category.
Okay, fine.
So does that mean you have to go with Jamie's man, do you think?
I do think so, to be fair.
So there is confirmation of our team so far. Don't forget, we need 3 positions for the forwards, so we can have a look at the players that are dominating the chart so far. So on the left-hand side, once again, we have the power rankings followed by the statistics on the right. And one man dominating both. It's an Everton player, Jamie. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Heung-min Son and Sadio Mane up there statistically as well, narrowly behind with the stats. Jamie Vardy, we know, has been in great form. And of course, Patrick Bamford as well. Leeds fans will want me to mention that. He is in both categories. So Jamie, surely Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I know he's an Everton man, but has to make this team.
Yeah, he does. He's been outstanding. Great start to the season. I mean, this is an Everton loving this team, isn't it, at the moment, really? Not a lot I can do about this at the moment, the form that they're in. But at this moment, I'm a big fan of Calvert-Lewin. The only thing he lacked before was goals. Stupid thing to say about a striker, but he held the ball up well, he was good early, he had pace as well, he could lead the line, he could play up front on his own, he worked off the ball, and he just needs to be a bit more ruthless and clinical in front of goal, and that's what he's doing now under Ancelotti, and long may it continue.
Calvert-Lewin, Nicole, in for you?
5 goals in 3 games. I think he's been brilliant, like Jamie says, good in the air, and his finishing is very good now. I think he's a brilliant striker, so yeah, for me.
Yeah, total agreement. I think everyone watching this will agree Dominic Calvert-Lewin is nailed on for this team. Next striker, or forward, should I say, Nicole? Who are you going for?
I'm going for Son. I think he's a brilliant player. He's had a great season. Obviously, he's now injured. Don't know how long he'll be out for, which is also why he should make the team this month, because we don't know when he might be back in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just think, 4 goals so far. He looked like he was going to get one in that Newcastle game before, obviously, he went off injured. And he just brings so much. He's so versatile. I think he's got to be in there. Yeah, 4 goals in 1 game, all set up by Harry Kane, interestingly. Also hit the woodwork twice against Newcastle. Whenever we talk Spurs, we always talk about Harry Kane, but Heung-min Son recently, to the back end of last season, this season, has looked very impressive, Jamie, hasn't he?
He has. I think one thing Spurs always lacked in the Pochettino area was that real blister and pace. That's probably something you could say to Harry Kane. I think Son just provides that for this team, really. And I think those two, as a front 2 or part of a partnership in a front 3, maybe Gareth Bale joins that as the season goes on. I think that gives them a great chance of making the top 4 if those two can keep that combination going, as you mentioned, at Southampton. You both agreed then for those 2 players, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Heung-min Son. Last player for the team. Jamie, who are you going to put forward for the last player? Is it going to be a Liverpool player? Yes.
Of course it is, obviously.
They are top of the league and the best team in the world with 9 out of 9.
All right, Jamie.
I haven't got one of them in yet. I'm going to go, there's a toss-up between Salah and Mane. And I've gone for Sadio Mane, because everyone knows I'm a big fan of him. He is your favourite player. You love Sadio Mane, don't you? Yeah, he loves me as well. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've gone for Mane. I mean, Salah got off to a blistering start, didn't he? Those goals and the hat-trick to a home to Leeds. But Mane then done it away at Chelsea, which is a much tougher game. Then got to the goal against Arsenal as well. Again, tough opposition as well at home. So even though they got 3 each, Mane scored in 2 games, if you like. So that will just give him the edge on Salah. Jamie Vardy, he's got 5 goals so far. Very experienced. Do you include penalties? Yeah, we do include penalties, Jamie. I'm guessing, because he's not up there in the power rankings. So I'm guessing that's because they don't count penalties been a few penalties. But still, they are weighted less than normal goals with regards to the power rankings, but obviously for total goals they still count. So exactly. It should be weighted even less this season. Do you know penalties. What? Are you going to let me say my point, Jamie? Sorry. So he scored 5 goals, very experienced. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I don't think
people sort of acknowledge him like they do with other top.
Think he's underrated, Nicole?
I do. I do. Yeah. I don't think it's one of those weird ones that everyone knows what he can do. Everyone knows that he gets goals and that he is a brilliant player when you actually look at it and you look at him statistically. But he isn't one of those like glamorous names really when you're looking at your forwards. But I do think he deserves to be in this team. You know you're going to get goals from Jamie Vardy.
I think in this system that we're playing, we've already picked our centre forward. A little bit like when I picked 2 right backs.
Right.
It was probably a bit wrong. the way we've set this team up.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin's the centre forward. It's
But
4-3-3.
are we looking? Are we doing it like that? Really?
Vardy's not a wide left player, is he?
But aren't we just picking our top forwards
That's
based on?
That Arsenal fan again,
Oh,
just putting names and teams together. That's why they haven't done nothing for so long.
Oh, wow. Not looking at how it
the
works.
reason?
Do you know what? I'm going to let you have that one because you beat us. And I'm letting you go with
And
that.
Mane's good.
So that's
there we go.
okay.
It's a good reason, and we
You can
have
have
come
Mane.
to a conclusion for the final name. So let's have a reminder of the team of the month, and it is some team. There it is, Martinez in goal, Lamptey, Keane, Mings and Dean as a back four. Midfield 3 of Rodriguez, Klich and De Bruyne. And then finally the 3 forward positions. Some lineup that is Son, Calvert-Lewin and Mane. Are you both happy with that as a team?
I'm satisfied. Yeah, no, that's a good team, to be fair.
That is a good team. Probably Everton heavy.
I was going to say, Jamie, there's a few Everton players in there.
Yeah, we'll let them have their moments in September. Hopefully that'll be the end of it.